All right, hello, welcome to the Football Friends podcast for another week. I'm joined by Ash, and our special guest, Innes, has returned for another week here. And yeah, we're glad to have you again.
Thank you very much. Pleased to be here.
Yeah.
Are we?
Yeah, well, no Paddy yet, but he might drop in soon. We'll see.
I'm going to claim that I'm the super sub, like one Ole Gunnar Smeagol.
Yeah. Well, yeah, our podcast strategy over the last few weeks has kind of been like rolling subs. We've had like people coming in and out and all over the place, so
sort of like the Manchester United managerial spot.
Oh, here we go. We'll just dive right into it, I suppose. Yeah. So yeah, what do you guys think?
Time to go for me. I've said it for weeks. He should have been gone, so it had to happen. You can't lose that badly to Watford and not keep your job.
Yeah, a newly promoted side, Watford.
Yeah,
and 4-0. I mean, yeah, it's not good.
Did the players play him out? That's a question.
Yeah,
did some of them want him gone?
That's
just
what
play to get rid of him.
I was wondering that because Bruno's been on a bad run lately, and well, even then, I think nonetheless even if it wasn't conscious, it was like maybe subconscious.
Yeah,
it was all sort of falling apart, like.
Yeah, I'd probably agree broadly with that. I think the biggest thing there is Ole, unfortunately for a time, has looked like a man without a plan. And you saw that in the 4-1 defeat to Watford. You saw that in the 5-0 drubbing from Liverpool. The players, whether or not they buy into it is another question. But regardless, they have not executed on it. And I would probably have said that Ole hasn't left the dressing room in the worst spot. I'd say he's left behind a better squad than he inherited, and it seems like a lot of positive vibe is coming from the club. But as you've said, you can't have a run of results that bad in a role that important for that long, and I think he just left the Glazers no choice.
Yeah, From what I've heard, the dressing room is he installed a real feel-good mentality inside the dressing room around the staff and things like that. He was a real morale booster, but they possibly don't need that. They needed it when he came in, but they need something else now. They need, action and hard lines to.
I think tactics and discipline.
Yeah, their discipline is horrible, so they need to change that. And move from there.
They need better results.
Yeah, they need Conte, don't they?
Yeah. Well, okay. So this is the funny thing, man. I almost called this exactly. I said since we didn't fire Ole after the Liverpool game, I said we're going to hesitate and we're going to miss out on Conte, and that's exactly what happened. But
Daniel Levy strikes again.
But then the only side of this is from what I've heard. They weren't really interested in Conte anyway because they don't think his style sort of fits with the club. And then, of course...
So winning.
Yeah, winning style doesn't fit Manchester United these days, does it?
Look, I don't know. Sometimes they don't, people don't get on.
Sometimes people don't win, and that's the way they go.
Sir Alex, he's got too much input.
It is Sir Alex. Yeah, it's Alex Ferguson, so he doesn't like Conte or whatever, so that's what it is. He really likes Pochettino.
Yeah.
And, but that, like what I was saying just before, is that, Pochettino, if we're looking for a manager who's going to win us trophies, like Pochettino hasn't done that yet. He hasn't won any trophies. He didn't win any trophies at Spurs. Didn't win anything at PSG.
Yet.
That's what I'm saying. With the team he has at PSG, if he
fails...
If he doesn't win a trophy there, it's like...
Yeah, how do you...
At the same time, though, you look at the style of football Pochettino inspired at Tottenham. You look at the progression that Tottenham had under Pochettino. And before that, I think it was at Southampton where they saw a lot of progression under him too. It really, for me, probably is a case of he is a good manager. Maybe he just hasn't quite got the result in terms of actually winning a trophy at this stage. It becomes a case of if you manage well at that level for long enough, eventually you will win something. You'll never do that at Spurs, But eventually you will win something because an actually big team will come for you, like PSG.
Because the word on the street is, and this is pretty crazy if true, they're saying that what might happen is Zidane to PSG and then Poch to United.
But surely if you're Pochettino, why do you go to United?
No, but there's the talk, and it can happen now. Apparently Poch is keen to go now. So he must see something in that PSG side on paper that he can't work with, or the players don't respond to his methods and things like that, and he might think, well, the flip side to staying at PSG, and you don't win anything, you look like a massive failure. Like, you have the best squad on paper and win nothing and look like shit.
Yeah.
So, do you flip that and just leave and go somewhere else, or do you stay?
Well, plus, I probably reckon they'd offer him a shitload of money.
That's it.
And it'll be like, we'll give you $10 million if you leave right now or something.
And he's only got 6 months at PSG anyway.
Yeah.
He only signed an 18-month deal. He had 6 months last season, and he's got this season. So he's halfway through that. So
at the same time, with a team like PSG, you're absolutely right. He'll look like a failure if he doesn't win, but I'd probably make the case that he'll look like a failure if he leaves. And the problem I suspect he would sort of see is not the team that he has on paper. It's the team he has to put out on the field. He doesn't get a choice. He has to play a front three of Neymar, Messi, and Mbappe. There's no question on that. The problem is that really a team that's designed to gel well together? You've got three players who effectively are wingers who like to cut inside and who like to take shots on goal. That's not the kind of team that he created at Tottenham. It's not a team which is necessarily cohesive. So his job kind of becomes about, can you make a non-cohesive team win trophies by virtue of their attacking talent?
This is like a motivator's job rather than a tactician's job.
Yeah, well, is that why Zidane is the man? Like Mr. France himself?
Mr. Real Madrid?
Yeah.
Mr. Champions League?
Yeah, like before he took over Real Madrid, you would say he had literally no experience. He might have coached youth level and whatever at Madrid, but
straight in, wins 3 Champions Leagues.
Yeah, exactly. Because of the personality he brings to that dressing room himself and moves on. So
yeah, and I think that's a reasonable point. Probably the problem I would highlight is that it's not like you go to United and the expectation changes. People are going to expect him to go into that United team and win things. And I would make the case that that's not a team which is at the level yet, which actually can win things. I don't think that you can look at the midfield, you can look at the defence of United and say that's better than Chelsea, City or Liverpool.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, okay. But here, the thing is, if you had a look before Tuchel was at Chelsea, when you were looking at the players that Chelsea had, you weren't thinking they were any good either. Like these guys like Rudiger and Thiago Silva and whatever, like they were all just kind of like whatever. And then now that Tuchel came in, they all became these good players.
Yeah, that's where
and
I was
we've got the same
with
quality. All of our players like have something happening. It's just it doesn't have the quite. Not
United have the making of a Poch team.
Maybe.
You look at those young English strikers that they have in Greenwood, Rashford. You got Martial there, all of that
Sancho.
same sort of Sancho, that high press, high energy. And then you throw the quality of Ronaldo up front, who's going to put them away. Obviously, the defence he needs a complete overhaul. But yeah, you've still got the creativeness of Bruno and Pogba is still there, and you've got Van der Beek who can play a ball. Like there's the making of a good side there for Pochettino to work with and build something around. But he needs to get rid of the back four and to hit.
Okay. Explain. So you can't just get away with that. You got to. What are you talking about?
What's that?
I've got to get rid of the whole back four.
Yeah,
not all of the back four. You would probably keep Varane and maybe Shaw.
Are you kidding? No,
Yeah.
come on, they're all good.
What, do you want to keep Maguire?
The same, exactly the same team, minus Varane, last season, got second. Like, they're a good defensive team.
No one remembers second. Second is right.
But I'm saying, they weren't that bad, and all we've done is added Varane. So, like, it's even better than... It's just, we're in a bad patch.
You're in a bad patch, but
For
if it was
10
such
years.
a good result, why have you fired Ollie?
I mean, I'm not... No, I'm saying it's a really bad result, and that's why Ollie probably needed to go, but... It's...
For me, it's not a strong enough spine. I think you guys have the technical quality, and I
think if
completely
anything,
agree with
The
that.
problems are in the midfield, but
Yep,
not.
I would agree.
I don't think with the back four.
You've got Pogba in the midfield who's strong enough, right? You'd probably say that he could make a first 11 or a broader squad of the best players in the Premier League. But who does he partner with? Pogba can pick a ball. Pogba can escape the press, but then he passes it to Fred, or he passes it to McTominay.
Mm.
That's not the same thing as when Henderson escapes the press and passes it to Thiago, or Kovacic does that and passes it to Conte. It's not the same thing. So I would say they need at least one more box-to-box midfielder and maybe one more defender.
Well, is that what Bruno's meant to be?
No, Bruno's a 10, surely.
Yeah, but then I also think Pogba should be a 9. Because I think he's lazy
Because
as
you're
fuck.
totally insane.
Yeah, just
He
because
can
I
pick a
don't...
pass, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I put him in a place where he's got no pressure and nobody on him.
I'm with you. That we were looking.
I think
for
you need harder midfielders.
we were
you
looking
need,
for a holding midfielder. Like,
you need seasoned pros. You need Michael Carrick.
Yo,
The
hello,
man has arrived.
Super sub is here.
Hello. Welcome.
Ollie's just left.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was trying to plan that line around and Ollie gonna sell.
Now they're trying to come after my squad. They're trying to bully me.
What do you mean they're trying to come after your squad? What squad, bro?
They're trying to say that the back four's
We
not
are
good.
your squad.
And I'm like, you're insane. It's really good.
Yes,
squad's actually really
on,
good.
on paper. Yes, on the pitch, have they been good?
And there's the point.
I mean, we've been bad momentarily. I mean, what about last season?
Momentarily, yeah, and in
No,
those
yeah, but
moments, have
no,
you
but what about
conceded
last
goals?
season? What about last season? They were really good. We got second.
Sure, and then what's happened to that? It's gone backwards
Yeah, because of circumstances.
because of COVID.
Somehow you've gone backwards despite adding Varane, Sancho, and Ronaldo.
Yeah, for like a couple games.
For a couple games.
How many have United now lost out of the last 10?
Look, you
No,
can't.
In like 5 games?
To be fair, I can't count that high.
Yeah,
Look,
you are from Liverpool.
everyone goes through bad patches, right?
I stopped.
You guys are all acting like it's the end of the world.
It is for Ollie.
Oh yeah,
The end of the season.
but it seems like that's to everyone's benefit at this point. No one seems to be too worried
To
about it.
everyone's
It's
benefit was leaving Ollie in charge.
It's to Michael Carrick's benefit.
Absolutely.
We haven't even got onto that yet.
Sorry, it's
but
to
like,
Michael Carrick's bank account's benefit.
Hmm.
Not that I think he was short of a few quid.
So are you saying that's what's going to happen? It'll be Carrick till the end of the season, and they'll go, why don't we'll give him a season in charge and see what happens.
Look, Carrick's at the wheel.
Yeah, that feels better. and probably that's the point, right? If Carrick has a reasonable season, I would say he's the front runner.
Oh my god!
I agree. I think he has a great footballing brain.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't say no against that.
But wasn't this the whole complaint about Ollie? Like,
Yeah, no, the thing is, if United's ownership, and here, don't get me wrong, this is a sticking point, United's ownership would be foolish to, even if Carrick has a good season by Ole standards, they would be foolish to keep him because there will be someone better on the market. And they've got to go for a real manager, not some guy who's a coach, a coach in his first real job.
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So if he wins Champions League, like Di Matteo did,
Di Matteo did.
at Chelsea,
Okay. Yeah.
and look how that turned out for Di Matteo.
Like I said, if he has a good season by Ole standards, so if he finishes like 4th, then they still probably shouldn't keep him. If he wins the league and the Champions League,
Yeah, well then, why not?
then why not?
Okay,
saying-
only then though. That's the only time I'll
the
accept
double, yes.
Just before you go here, we were saying the big links been like Pochettino. and there's been stupid, crazy ones like it'll happen soon. So like Zidane will go to PSG and then Poch will come to United, like in some weird deal.
Almost like Ronaldo's shirt number.
Yeah,
It's like,
one of those,
he's got to leave, and that's got to happen before this happens.
some dodgy backroom FIFA deal, obviously. So, which
They're all dodgy backroom deals at FIFA.
well, that's what I say. If it's gonna happen anywhere, it's gonna involve PSG, isn't it? So,
yeah, that's probably fair.
so who knows? But either that or would we wait till the end of the season, which is a long time. You know, the season's only just really started. It's a long time to have a interim coach.
Look, if someone good becomes available, like of United quality becomes available, there's no reason they shouldn't jump for him at any point in the season. If it's Pochettino or Zidane or
Ten Hag.
Ten Hag,
Ten Hag is the other one that's been
Neil
linked.
Warnock,
But Ten Hag has said end of the
Steve
season.
Bruce.
Sam Allardyce.
Brucey Bonus.
Oh, Big Sam.
Yeah,
Big Sam.
massive Sam.
Big Sam for the big club. Come on.
He'll guarantee you 17.
Have you had enough?
What?
Like, I know that it didn't
Oh, no,
start
look.
when I walked in the door. So
The thing is, it's not that bad because I was saying obviously recently that I probably wanted him to leave, but
Yeah.
So it seems to be good, and the result today maybe reflects that. It's like a positive direction. But yeah, about the match though, the Watford match.
good lord,
What an embarrassment. That's what I gotta say.
what was going on with that penalty?
What do you mean?
The missed one.
Yeah, so what part of it do you mean? Because I have a gripe with it. But
Just go. The
Okay.
floor is yours.
So
sir.
what happened was
That's what I want.
well, they won the penalty because Bruno kicked the ball straight up in the air like an idiot, and then Scott McTominay fell over onto a Watford player and gave a penalty. Fair enough. Clumsy. So Ismail Yassar takes a penalty, De Gea saves it, and then is it Firmino something?
Yeah.
He follows it up and bangs it into the net. But then it gets retaken.
He encroached.
Because he encroached, yeah. But I'm like, what the fuck? Like, De Gea makes a save, and then your guy encroaches, and you get to retake it. What the fuck?
So you think it should go to a goal kick at that stage?
Well, no, it's just he's offside. It should just be free kick.
So the penalty was legitimate. Like, was De Gea on his line and all of that?
Yeah. And it was awesome. Like, he saves it, yeah.
Wasn't it hit straight at him?
It was.
Yeah,
It's down
so
the middle.
De
Well, it's
Gea
just-
does nothing
just to
because
his
he's
left,
actually a rubbish goal
Well,
kicker.
look,
Just to his
look.
left.
The
Hey.
ball out of the net, best save ever.
No. De Gea,
No. We've got to give him the credit that he deserves.
A cone could have saved it.
But look, anyway, it doesn't actually...
Kane doesn't play.
But see, I already think that's unfair. But
I agree with that actually, and you're right. He was something like 2 meters inside the box.
Yeah.
Follows it up, and sure, the ball goes in, but then to retake it isn't fair.
yeah.
The penalty would be retaken if the defence had encroached in it.
Yeah. So
hadn't
when
been
I
saved.
when I
But if it had been
rewatched
saved.
the match, they do say at the time that Wan-Bissaka encroached too, and I was like, I don't know. And the other thing is, for me, he encroaches a lot more. That's for sure.
Yeah, there's a reason he gets to the ball first.
Yeah. So it's kind of BS. But
Well, at that point, I don't care if Wan-Bissaka's in the box by like a toe or whatever. If Firmino is offside,
yeah.
or you call it what you
It should
like,
just be
call
offside,
it
yeah.
encroaching, call it invading Mars. I don't care. He's not got the goal.
Yeah.
Well, it's as soon as the penalty taker starts his run up, you should be allowed to come into the box.
No.
And it would stop those stupid little run ups that everyone
No.
does.
It would make people do more of them because then their teammates can walk forward.
There'd be
Wouldn't it-
there'd be
it would make
11
it-
people on the goal line. in
It would
like
be
a
great,
second.
wouldn't it?
No.
Well, like,
You get all these goal line clearances as Thiago Silva comes steaming in from the side,
Yeah.
slide in and cover one side of the goal.
well, like if you run up and hit the ball properly, you'll score the goal.
Sergio Ramos giving away another penalty during the penalty.
Because he slide tackles the penalty taker before he takes it.
But anyway, nonetheless, it didn't actually matter because Ismail Yassar retakes the penalty and De Gea saves it again. He saves both penalties, even though it's probably going to count as one.
If only he'd been able to make 4 more saves in that game.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, it's kind of just all tits up from there.
Yeah, it didn't get better.
It got better for some people's fantasy team, At least they get the bonus points of De Gea doing part of his job.
Thankfully, I got rid of Ismail Assar last week. So,
Ideal. Right, have we been mean enough to Gage at this point?
Gage, yes. To Man United, no. But I still feel like we should probably...
But I sort of agree. We just looked in that match. We looked like we just played without an identity. I guess it just sort of looked like I kind of think that the team kind of committed suicide. They wanted to get Ollie fired.
Yeah.
So last question on United. Who do you want as their next manager? Personally, your personal want. Who do you want them to pick?
We have 4 answers here.
Yeah.
It's not an easy question because Zidane is available, but
No, who do you want? Just straight up, who do you want? Who, if you were in charge and you could hire somebody, who would you hire?
I'd go Ten Hag.
Okay.
But I have a bias, so
No, that's fine.
it makes
Well,
a lot
that's who
of
you
sense.
want.
Yeah. But also because Zidane doesn't speak English, and it's
Yeah,
kind
but
of.
that doesn't matter.
But I mean that's kind of weird though. When you think
Yeah,
about
but he
it, right?
speaks football.
Yeah, but
He's also Zidane.
Yeah.
And he'll be both terrifying and inspiring in the dressing room.
I would 100% take Zidane if he's on.
Would you?
Yeah.
What, 3-time Champions League winning coach Zinedine Zidane?
Yeah. We'll have a headbutting contest.
Mean. Would Harry Maguire win that?
I think
Yes.
he would. Yeah.
The head-to-head.
Yeah.
Dude, Zidane would die.
Paddy, who do you want for...
Rio Ferdinand. Microphone in one hand, Jaffa cake in the other.
Yeah, Graham Souness.
Liverpool legend, you can't have that.
Yeah. Stevie. We just missed out on Stevie J by like 1 week.
Well,
Gutted.
I think that might be a political hot potato.
We'll get Frank Lampard. He doesn't have a job.
I think that's probably another one, to be fair.
I think I'd go... I think United should be happy if they get Pochettino or Ten Hag. Those should be the two that they're targeting. I personally both want and think that they will appoint Carrick in the fullness of time.
As a full-time...
Yeah, I think he has the building blocks in place to have a reasonable season. They'll have a bit of a bounce by having him in charge, and at the end of the season, they might just look around and be like, well, you're close enough.
Yeah. For me, there's only one person. They deserve a chance at a big club. They've been around the tracks for a long time.
Here we go.
A United legend, Steve Bruce.
Oh god.
It's only fair. He dealt with Mike Ashley. He can deal with the Glazers.
We'll get David Moyes back.
He could appoint Roy Keane as his assistant.
Fuck that. No.
Imagine it.
We could get Ronald Koeman.
Well, you said...
You could get Koeman.
I know I disputed Graham Souness before, but imagine hiring him just as Paul Pogba's personal coach.
Yeah.
I think,
Demotivational coach.
Demotivational speaker.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, okay, we could move on now. I've had enough.
Speak about someone else's misery.
But well maybe we could talk about our special guest misery when we cover
Which would be
just in time.
my personal joy.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Look, there's no
Never a truer thing was said about Liverpool Football Club.
Hey, there's no there was no trash in red on that on that pitch. I'll tell you that much. 4-0. Get fucked, really. I think I don't know why I'm starting with this, but I think in Trent Alexander-Arnold's last 13 games, he's made 11 assists. And I know 3 of those were against San Marino, who...
Curiously specific there. In the last 13 games, 11 assists.
Look, I know, it's
6 on the left foot.
it's a very odd stat, but, 3 against San Marino, so you can say they exist or you don't. But one of them came against Arsenal.
Absolutely.
And
he had a very good game.
Man's a boss.
Yeah, and I think... It's funny because obviously the scoreline is poor, but I don't actually feel very downbeat or downhearted from it. I mean, when you watch the game, we went in at halftime 1-0 down, and certainly I don't think we've been the better side, but it
was close.
It was
close.
A
1-0 was
it
right.
was probably fair. Probably fair on balance. And if we had continued playing like that, we would have lost. But you're still in the hunt at that point.
Yeah.
And then when they came out of the sheds, you saw that Liverpool's press had changed. They'd started targeting Tavares and Lokonga, and that worked very well. I mean, Arteta responded, but a couple of silly errors from inexperienced players, and before you know it, you're 2-0 down, start chasing the game, and you concede 2 more. I don't view that as genuinely bad when you come off an 8-game unbeaten run. Anfield's a fortress, and to lose there is more a matter of course for most clubs.
Do you guys think that 4-0 is the new 1-0? It's like...
I'm going to need you to explain that.
As he breathes a sigh of relief, as we've all committed not to talk about Man United.
I'm just saying, like, I just feel like...
Are you trying to get yourself a point against what?
Three or 4 seasons ago, like, hearing like a 4 or a 5-0 was like, whoa, that's unheard of. Like, but then now every game's a 5-0, you know?
And
it's like,
big scores are back.
Yeah, big scores are back, so a 4-0...
Yeah, that's why you get Big Sam in charge.
Big Sam, big scores, big club.
Because that's it, like, if you had lost 5-0 back in the day, you'd just been fired on the spot. And now, like, it's just, everyone's just like, oh, it's still worse, it's 5-0.
And if you got a 5-0 in Italy, there was almost certainly match fixing involved.
Yeah. See, now you have to lose like 10-0 to get fired on the spot.
Yeah, well, the San Marino job is coming up.
Yeah.
I'm sure Ollie can have a crack at that.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I think it's more of a case of when teams go 2 down, they just really push to try and get something back now, rather than, sit a little bit. When you go 1-0 down, you hold a bit tighter. Now the attitude is, let's keep playing, let's keep going at them to get something out of it and claw one back. So
like it could have been
when you open up the game, you create more space, and teams like Liverpool, if you're opening that space and like Inna said, you make 1 or 2 mistakes, they punish.
So you're saying
they thrive on that sort of.
It could have been a 2-0
ball.
if you like didn't really care, but since you actually cared enough to try and win, it becomes a 4-0.
Exactly. That's exactly the point. And probably the thing that I would say is, firstly, it's good that they pushed forward to try. Obviously, it didn't work, but it's good that they pushed forward to try.
Yeah.
But the bigger thing is that you can still take some heart, and I'm not actually ripping on United here, but when Liverpool went to United and won 5-0, the problem there was that at no point did it really look like United were actually trying to get back into the game.
They didn't play.
They just got beaten 5-0, getting all their men behind the ball, and Liverpool just picked them apart anyway. And that's the thing that I guess I take from the Arsenal loss. It's
attitude.
Liverpool are a very good club, and they had the right attitude going.
Yeah, you got beat by a team better than you, playing with good attitude.
Yep.
Fine.
It happens.
It happens to our 5-a-side team on Tuesday night quite a lot. Who was the defender that Jota took it past when he scored his goal?
Ben White. He received a prime ball. Actually, I think a better ball than anything Alexander-Arnold played. He received a great ball from Tavares.
Yeah. Fullbacks will do that.
Yeah. I mean, he was in on goal, This is a great pass from Tavares if he'd been wearing the other shirt.
Yeah. Well,
he thought he was wearing the home kit.
He saw red, literally, and he was just like, look, this is good enough.
Aubameyang looks younger.
And Portuguese for some reason. No, it was one of the best cases of being sent for a hot dog I think I've ever seen.
Yeah. He had to make a challenge, but
he should have stood up.
Yeah.
And the keeper probably should have stood up as well. But
it was a classy.
But the keeper was sold.
Jota.
The keeper was sold. Yeah, and I think it was Minamino's first goal in the Anfield goal in the league or something.
Oh, we were discussing this stupid first
weird stats.
Yeah, it was like Ranieri's first home win, but no, everyone just sees Ranieri's first win. It was home win.
It's his first home win on a Sunday when the moon has been in Jupiter.
It's so annoying. It's so easy to get fake news.
Clickbait.
Yeah.
Gage's clickbait.
Is he?
Yeah.
Wow. Sounds dangerous. You should probably get that checked out.
Yeah. So yeah, all right. Lose a loss, gracious loss.
Yeah.
As you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I don't really get so disheartened by it personally. I still personally think Arteta is the man for the job. I can see progress under him, and I'd like to see him succeed this season. And if he doesn't, and if he were to come 7th, I'd still want to see him there next season.
Yeah, fair enough. London wasn't built in a day.
All right. So, do you want to talk about Spurs quickly before we go into Champions League?
Yeah, quickly. Bit of a average game, to be fair. Not really a lot going on. Two teams just making a meal of pretty much everything. Leeds aren't on form.
Oh, they really aren't.
And we're just struggling to find ourselves. The good thing is the Conte effect. You could start to see it.
Well, that's first one, right?
Yeah, he was just on the touchline. He brings that energy on the touchline, and you could see the players getting towards the end of the game were starting to go, oh, here's the same thing, still 0-0 or 1-1, oh, we're not going to win this, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, having that attitude on the side, like, keep going, and they managed to find 2 goals and get out of it, so progress. There's still a lot of work for Conte to do there.
Is he the man for the job?
Bit early, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, he's
the best. He's the best qualified guy that was around.
I just about called him N'Golo Conte as well. He's Antonio Conte, you know. He's a world class.
You got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there's anyone that can get them going and get Harry Kane to stay and back to his best, you put your money on a top coach like him.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
and it is a big coup for Tottenham. You know, now you've appointed a guy like Mourinho, you've appointed a guy like Conte. You know,
it's starting to put ourselves back in that bracket
Absolutely.
rather than building towards that. We haven't been a big club for a long time since Harry Redknapp. So.
I think we say the 60s.
You mean when he played, right?
So building back towards that is something good. So we'll see. He just needs time to do his thing.
It's so great at the moment, isn't it? You look at the quality of the managers in the Premier League.
Oh.
You've got some incredible talent there, both in terms of the managers and the players. Really, there's some big battles between Guardiola and Tuchel and Conte, and
it's almost a big battle every week now, you know.
Yeah.
And then there's the fresh face managers that are coming in that are adding something like Villa have just appointed Steven Gerrard, so when he comes up against Liverpool, it's got that spice to it.
Potential.
And, there's Ranieri, there's Bielsa,
Moyes.
Moyes.
Yeah, Moyes
is consistent.
On a
Eddie Howe as
Brendan
well.
Rodgers.
Yeah. Graham Potter is touted as a great footballing brain, so there's Vieira.
There's truth to be told.
Yeah.
Big Paddy V.
Yeah, it's completely stacked. It's crazy. So again, I feel like we say it every week. That's why it's the best league in the world. You know, that's why it's the league we talk about, right?
Yeah. Something along those lines.
Yeah. All right. So how much do you guys catch any of the Champions League last couple days?
Not a whole lot. But before we go there, can we? I've got an organic piece of Mourinho. Mourinho lols.
Turn into
We love this. This should actually really be a weekly segment.
It basically is. Yeah, we just need a theme song.
Yeah, Mourinho watch.
One day I'll get a soundboard and we'll have some Mourinho sound effects.
The thing is, you're gonna need a big keyboard.
Huh?
Because he's got a lot of quotes. He's got a lot of amazing quotes.
Can his quote as the Mourinho soundbite comes in? Can it just be him shouting three trophies, 3 titles?
3
exactly.
This means 3-0.
Yeah. Well, that's it. So anytime someone wins 3-0, I'm going to play that sound clip. So that's why I need. That's
why we need it. Okay.
We just need him actually to have a soundbite for 4 and 5-0 because that's where all the games go these days.
Yeah.
But no, what I really want to get is
4 is the new 1.
I get a voice modulator so I can become Mourinho.
Just get him on the phone.
Yeah.
Bring him up.
Yeah, sure that won't be difficult.
Yeah, definitely. But okay, yes, so please go ahead. Tell us about the special one.
So the special one has been chatting with a new forward in the squad, Felix Afenia Gian. I hope I've pronounced that moderately close.
Mm-hmm.
He scored his first and second goals in his Roma career, aged just 18. He came on pretty late, scored 2 goals, won the game. They beat Genoa. And Mourinho had promised him an €850 pair of shoes, which he presented to him after the game. Beautiful scenes. Felix just ran around hugging everyone, and Mourinho, like, I don't know. Mourinho doesn't strike me as a big hugger, but he was loving it. He went back for a second and thirds. Look, I love it.
He scored his first goal and ran straight to Mourinho and started yelling, "Remember your promise." And Mourinho just turns around and just goes, "Don't lose your head. Keep playing.
Yeah.
There's still a game on."
Yeah, he's like,
just yelling at him, "Don't forget my shoes." Like, bro, you said I get shoes.
What that translates to in Mourinho language is, "Oh shit, I've got 8 minutes to buy $1,000 pair of shoes."
It's nice. It's nice that an 18-year-old footballer who no doubt is about to go and earn €30,000 a week is still motivated by some fly kicks.
By some
isn't he?
banter, right?
I saw them as well. They were, and I'm
Yeah.
not a man motivated by such things, but they were pretty fly.
Like navy blue, eh?
Yeah,
Like,
beautiful.
Great.
So yeah, I think that's just about enough of chatting about Jose.
Yeah, good. Glad we had this wee update. Stay on track.
I was going to say he's not nearly mental enough for a weekly part, but he's still doing his bit.
The thing is, he earns his segment.
Oh, absolutely.
Every now and then, we can't.
We really have to shoehorn Big Sam in every week, but Mourinho earns it.
Yeah. All right, so now we'll move on to the Champions League then. So yeah, how did Did you catch any?
Unfortunately, Liverpool played this morning, and I've been flat tack, so I didn't. The only thing I've seen is that we've won, and I got the update from one of my workmates that basically Thiago played very well.
You were in for an absolute treat when you see his goal. It is absolutely sublime.
Thiago's.
Yeah, it is. It's got to be one of the best volleys I think I've seen hit in the last, honestly, maybe decade. It's brilliant.
That's a big call.
It's a pretty big shout.
There's
But
some
have a look
tasty
at it.
volleys. There's
Have a
some
look at it.
tasty
What about Naby Keita's one? Not even that
yeah,
long
he's
ago.
he's done 2 in the same team.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, look-
hey, look, I'm not saying you're wrong.
But look, well, Thiago obviously saw Keita and was like, "Oh, that's what you got to do to get this position."
Yeah. I want to play.
Yeah.
When you guys see it, it's not one of the top bins kind of volleys. It is honestly he's something like 25 yards out, and he absolutely thumps it, and it just runs parallel to the ground for 25 meters.
A little scud missile.
Yeah, and you can tell he's just struck down on the ball. He's got the backspin that just keeps it flying straight. Keep it no hope.
He's one of my favourite players, Thiago. When we announced we were signing him, I was
that was a real coup.
I was over the moon. I love him, and I think he's been given a fair bit of harsh rap by a lot of people, basically because he's a midfielder who actually doesn't necessarily make assists, but he does do a lot of other stuff.
He's, to quote Ash, actually, he's the pass before the pass.
Yeah, absolutely.
He keeps the game ticking over.
Well, he's a great game manager and reader, and he finds those situations and those gaps, and
Yeah.
Brilliant at getting out of the press.
Yeah,
he's a very, very good player.
he's
Unbelievable.
calm, eh? Just so calm. Eh?
He was essential to that Bayern team, and
Yeah.
Joshua Kimmich has taken that role on, but he was the beating heart of Bayern.
And Thiago does that without he does that without making assists and many goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough gig because obviously it's a very good midfield that Liverpool have.
I still think we could probably do with one more midfielder, like another player,
Another top level midfielder.
Well, just another player to compete, because it seems that we've got Thiago, we've got Naby Keita. They always seem to be injured, and then we've got
Henderson and Fabinho.
Somebody.
Ox.
yeah, like a lot of these guys get injured often, and of course we've got goal machine Mo Salah, so it doesn't actually
And secondary goal machine Sadio Mane.
Sadio, yeah.
So what sort of midfielder would you like then?
Well, someone similar to Gini Wijnaldum, to be honest, because
Somebody with a lot of energy.
yeah, a
and
lot of energy, box to box.
Not necessarily. The creator.
Doesn't have to be a goal scorer. Doesn't even like. I'm not thinking Coutinho. I'm thinking, if we could have Gini Wijnaldum back, that'd be all right.
John Joe Shelby.
No. All right, Gage has got Thiago's goal up on the YouTubes, and
Damn.
I don't think it touches the ground on the way.
That is like the straightest kick
from
ever.
like 30 yards out.
What a beamer.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable hit.
That's a mate. That is very nice.
Look, I love it.
Dude, that's so straight.
Daisy cutter.
Yeah, that's
A
amazing.
genuine daisy cutter.
Yeah, very good.
So
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, I'm truly stoked with
Happy to win.
five. I mean, yeah. Look, if it's my only wish, in my life, I'd like to see Liverpool Football Club win every game until the end of time. And failing that, 5 from 5 in the Champions League this season is pretty good.
Is Mo Salah, is he the best player in the world
Yes.
right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Better than Lewandowski?
Yes.
It's probably those two.
I think.
Yeah, that's a tough goal,
See,
man.
it's one of those hard ones. Like, the best player in the world is so subjective. If you were to say that he's the best player in his position, no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lewandowski, the best number 9 in the world.
No doubt.
Everything is...
Well, because then there's
Compartmentalised.
Because then there's De Bruyne as well, right?
who's possibly like
He's the best.
the best creative midfielder in the world. Like,
definitely,
the best passer in football. Like, So everything. Yes, he is the best player. Mo Salah is.
Yeah.
He's an unbelievable vein of form.
He's in
right
that
now.
top.
So
he's in that world
consistent.
11. He's in that world 11, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah.
Big threat.
So yeah, here apparently, but hey.
I suppose now, so we spoiled a little bit. We've got big Michael Carrick in charge of his first match for us.
With a win.
Yes, with a much needed win, actually.
The new manager bounce. I'm telling you, Carrick's at the wheel.
Well, no, I think it's actually the no manager bounce. I think that seems to be the way it goes.
Yeah, was he appointed, or whatever the term would be for an interim coach before the game?
Yeah.
Okay, then
He sort of was there as the manager.
An
in that role.
interim manager.
But when it was first announced, it was him and
Darren Fletcher.
Darren Fletcher as well. Yeah, so it's like split or something. But he was the
They were the the assistants.
That's the pass before the pass before the pass.
Fletcher's rubbish. So come on.
But then much better. That's a lot better. That's a much needed result that puts us. We're now top of the table since the other result as well. We will finish top guaranteed because Villarreal we beat them head to head. So top of the table. Last match doesn't mean anything now. We had two good goals. Ronaldo has scored in every single Champions League game.
Has he?
In the group stage? And Bruno has also assisted in every single one as well.
That's obscene.
Yeah, pretty good. So that was what I was saying to Ash before. So this 6th game then, do you play Ronaldo? So like,
Surely not.
But it's like, he could score in all 6. Like, is that?
I mean, that's something that he would probably care about.
That's what I said. I
Which
said
is
he wouldn't let you not play him. Like,
yeah.
even if he came off as soon as he scores the goal, he comes off. But yeah, he'll want to play.
So United play who in the last game?
Young boys at home.
The young boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mate, you've got to play him, mate. Like it's not gonna be a hard game.
He will want that goal, and if I were his manager, I'd probably say you start and if you don't score before half time, you're coming off. Because we've got important games. Like, you
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Or you go the opposite way. You're coming on at halftime.
okay, yeah, I'd take either. To be fair, I'd take either, but
You'd be off to be
Like,
Poland, yeah.
you've qualified for the next round, guaranteed, and top. So
Yeah, why
There's-
risk him? I
there's-
think the issue there becomes better to give Cavani some game time, to give Greenwood some game time.
yeah, and
Green was injured at the moment.
and to have Sancho's great run of form continue.
Well, actually, no.
He's
So
finally found the net.
well, that's it. So yeah, that's the next point I was going to move on to. Maybe that's a big sign. You know, Sancho actually playing really well in that game, looking a lot more dangerous, and then actually scoring a fabulous goal
Yeah,
that hit the crossbar on the way in.
you love to see it.
Oh yeah, and that was good. Like they did look a bit nervous at 1-0. They were like, are we going to fuck this up? And then Sancho sort of put everyone at ease after that. So
Yeah, well that's kind of been I know we've ragged on United for enough, but that's been a little bit of. And don't worry, I've been there with Liverpool for a number of seasons, but it's like at 1-0 up, it's like, are we going to fuck this up? And it seems more recently it's gone to fucking it up rather than following through. But new manager bounce.
no manager bounce.
No, you've got a manager.
And he's a
He's a man.
Yeah, he's a man.
Mm.
certainly a person. I was going to say a pawn.
Well,
He probably is one of those as well, to be fair.
That's the interesting thing too. So, and Van der Beek scored in the Watford game as well, and so now it's going to look like we will see a bit more Van der Beek because it's seeming like he didn't play because he wasn't really favoured by Solskjaer, and that they sort of fell out in that way. So we're actually going to see him play. Pogba's injured, so it looks like it may be Van der Beek taking that role for a while, and he looked a lot better in this game as well. He does offer something a bit different.
Yeah.
The Champions League winning midfield duo of Fred and Van der Beek.
And Scotty McTominay.
Well, surely
it's all about McFred,
surely
man.
it's Bruno and Van der Beek in a
Well,
4-4-2.
and it's funny you say that because
Stop it.
Fred actually was involved in both goals in that game.
Still doesn't make him any
Villarreal.
good.
He was really good in that game. He broke up play twice and created which led to both of those goals.
Yeah, counter pressing.
Yeah, man.
That's the thing.
It is now.
See, Fred's just so small. He just kind of pops up when you don't expect him, and nicks
on the
nicks
team
ball
sheet?
off you. Okay, well played. That's it.
Are you saying this could be Fred's Red Redemption?
Oh,
Yeah, Fred Redemption. Fred's Red Redemption. Yeah, terrible.
You're welcome.
Well, so because another match I did catch as well today was Manchester City and PSG,
Oh, yeah, unbelievable.
and so I find it funny how PSG have every player in the world basically. On paper, it's like the best team ever, pretty much. To the point where I don't even think Poch can really decide who plays. Like, he can't really pick a team; it just picks itself.
Who would he even buy?
Yeah, exactly. So, but that's the funny thing is, for some reason, just in the back of my mind, I just always think that no matter who they have, I can't see them beating Man City, Chelsea, or Liverpool in a match. And that's exactly what happened today. Man City completely dominated them in that game.
One off, maybe. Over 2 leagues, I agree with you. So basically, if they meet in the Champions League,
Yeah, that's what I'm
at
saying.
any point in the Champions League other than the final, I would back all. I would agree with you. All 3 of those teams.
Yeah, because in that game, the 3 forwards, the Neymar, Messi, and Mbappe, the glorious trio.
Eminem.
Yeah. they don't press. They just sort of walk.
Well.
They're like walking, and City are just capitalizing on that. Pep knows that, right? So
it's a weird one because those front 3, the hardest worker is Neymar.
I don't even know.
Who's typically a lazy forward, you would say.
Yeah.
But when you think he's the hardest working out of those 3, it just it's not the Pochettino system, is it? Like, it's what we said before. He wants a team that's going to work hard off the ball. And
If you're Pochettino, how do you tell these players to do anything?
you literally have to drop them. You
What-
just have to say, you're not playing until you play the way I want you to. I'm the manager. It's my job.
And then they go, you coach Spurs.
Yeah, and you go, well, you were not playing again. Go play with the under-12s.
Yeah, well,
Right now, I coach you.
well, I'll sell
so
you
how
to.
good
No,
are you?
yeah,
then
I'll
the-
sell you to Spurs if you're not fucking.
And then the board goes, nah, Poch, you're playing Mbappe, deal with it.
Yeah, but that's when he gets his move to United. So, like,
Well, we'll see. Yeah.
I think
it's the Nuno thing. Like, Nuno didn't play his system at Spurs and failed because of it. Because he didn't put his ideas on the table and say, this is what we're going to do. It's my role to get the results. This is how I think we're going to get it. This is how I want to get them.
Yeah.
So Pochettino has to grab them and go, you either do this or you're on the bench. And I'll find a kid on the bench that doesn't get any playing time that wants to do it.
Yeah, who's motivated by a €1,000 pair of shoes.
Yeah.
That'll do him.
Yeah. So I understand. Like you say, they should beat everyone, but
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem for Pochettino is that you've got 3 players, all of whom are up top, who are creative and maverick, but the issue is that they're looking for a team that is built around them. You know, they're looking for a team that will make up for their deficiencies, which is largely their work rate. And the issue there is that the way football is going, it doesn't allow you to have
3.
eight players who work hard and 3 who don't. You might be able to work with 10 plus 1, but you can't have 8 plus 3. It doesn't work like that anymore. You look at a team like Liverpool, even a guy like Mohamed Salah is hard working and has to be.
Basically plays right wing back sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
Actually, that's a good point, because I think that Pochettino always seemed to put a lot of emphasis on his fullbacks and them being kind of like, quite defensive and like that. But then when you look at PSG, both of their fullbacks are attacking. So in this game, it was Hakimi and the young guy Nuno Mendes, who are both 100% attacking fullbacks. And I've heard that the board won't let him play defensive fullbacks. They have to play attacking football, overlapping fullbacks.
Which says to me that PSG have just signed the manager with the biggest name. They've just said, okay, well, who does everyone recognise? It's this guy. He plays,
Well, he did play for PSG as well.
Okay, fine.
So, yeah.
Does it? Again, I think that's kind of a pathetic reason. He, as a manager,
But he has club history,
sure, like that's about like 9th or 10th on the list of bullet points that a manager should have when the board signs him, right?
Unless you're the Glazers.
Unless you're the Glazers, in which case just glaze over it.
Bruno.
That's a different man entirely. like Pochettino doesn't play the way that PSG want him to play.
Yeah.
And yet they signed him. So the dick in this situation is not Pochettino.
He's just banking that fat check, bro. If I'm him, I wouldn't care. I'd be like, okay, just give me all the money.
I mean, it's not only obviously he's banking a fat check, but the other part of that is you have to ask the question, and I think it's a reasonable debate, and I think he's probably a good enough manager to do it. But the question becomes: is Pochettino able to create a system that will work for both the PSG board and the PSG players? Because it's not the system that he's going to put in place on his own. So he's got to find a way to atone for the defensive deficiencies that his front 3 give him. And if what's being said about Mendes and Hakimi is true, then he has to also find a way to give them some defensive solidity with those attacking fullbacks. Can he do that? Intuitively, no. But, I mean, it is possible, right? You can set up a team to be able to remedy those deficiencies. It's just whether or not his opposition can exploit them.
Yeah, I think it's extremely well said. I think he's rather hamstrung by all of these things at once. Just like looking at the formation on the screen there, he could probably do with another defender and play the fullbacks as wingbacks. But again, if that's a thing that he's been told, no, you can't play 3 at the back. You've got to play 4 with attacking fullbacks. Then he's fucked. It's just going to continue going this way, and he's going to lose his job, and he's going to get paid out some dollars.
Well, the way they play, they do intend to concede. They just try to score more goals than they concede.
5-3 is still a win.
Yeah.
And well, like that team on paper, you're being pushed into effectively playing 5 wingers.
Yeah,
Like,
basically.
the front 3 are all effectively wingers, and then your 2 fullbacks are
Even
effectively
wider
wingers.
wingers.
Yeah.
And
Here's a question:
you bring off.
Is 5-3 the new 2-1?
Yeah.
and
I
then-
mean, you've got Angel Di Maria coming off the bench.
my God.
Icardi is the same. He's a quick
So
guy.
they have Idrissa Gueye in there too, right? And I
Yeah,
suppose
but-
he's supposed to be like this so-called third defensive player. But when I watched the match, man, he's on the byline. Like, he's getting right in it.
He
like,
actually loves it. Like,
Yeah,
He's actually quite similar, not in quality, but in style to Kante, in that he's a defensive player in name, and then he likes running forward.
He just gets all up in it.
I mean, to be fair to N'Golo Conte, he's the best defensive player who's also able to get forward.
Yeah. Who scores amazing goals, or like at any opportunity.
Another guy in that World 11. Is the
World
is the
11,
point.
100%.
But so I think basically every player is just going to be Marquinhos and Kimpembe, but on every just that's it. That's your only line of defence.
They might turn into the best centre backs in the world simply by virtue of how many tackles they have to make.
Yeah, that they both played amazing in that.
Practice makes perfect. Eh? And when you're having 10 guys run at you, like
Yeah.
Maybe they should play rugby.
maybe.
Because so Pep wins again. That's interesting. Everyone was picking PSG to win Champions League, guaranteed because of how it looks on paper. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
What's the situation in the group there?
City at the top. City and PSG are through, I think is my understanding.
So that was just deciding the order, I guess, like first and second.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and that has solidified the order. So, Man City will go through first.
Yep.
I mean, they've got to be there or thereabouts favourites for the Champions League.
City.
They made the final last season, so you're
And
in
we're
that,
considered favourites in the final.
Yeah, you're top 4, aren't you? You're in that top 4. Munich would be up there.
Yep.
Liverpool in the way they're playing.
And then Chelsea. Of course, because they spanked Juventus as well.
I think that is your top 4. Obviously, we said PSG are iffy. Madrid, Barca are unconvincing.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, as good as PSG is on paper and all that, it's just like Chelsea, Liverpool, and Man City are just insane. You can't do anything about them.
Another notable addition from what you just said there is Juve, who obviously also went down 4-0 to Chelsea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see them going far, but if they meet one of those teams, I think they will lose. And I know, because they beat Chelsea, didn't they? In the other game.
In the first
In
one.
the first game, yeah. I think that's true.
Yeah, I think that's right.
But, come on, 4-0.
Yeah.
And looked good for it.
And
too,
looked,
as
yeah.
well.
Like, Juventus kind of look like they didn't have much of an identity. Like, they kind of look a bit just, I don't know.
Probably the
struggling.
case you can make there, though, is that Allegri genuinely has been there, done that, with Juve.
Yeah. And with not too much, like, some of the players are still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He hasn't lost too many.
All those defenders are still there, and, just as good ones.
If anything, it's a better squad than what he had when he left. Because they had just started to get rid of Pogba and Pirlo left. And
I suppose they did just lose Ronaldo too, so because your team would have been slightly built around Ronaldo as well. So you've got to adapt to changing that.
And if you've got to build it around Morata instead, then...
Yeah,
There's a bit of a quality difference
There's
between
some-
Ronaldo
yeah.
and Morata.
well, they still have Kulishevsky and Chiesa. Both of those guys are fucking guns.
They're good.
Fuck yeah, they're both amazing. So we got some players, but I don't know. They don't look. They're not.
We've got
in
some
that
players,
top
but they
tier
can
yet.
need some more players.
Yeah, everyone needs more players.
Everyone.
I mean, I'll happily put my hand up.
Yeah, I'll go live in Turin.
I'd play for some of those shoes that Mourinho's
Yeah,
going
yeah.
to bring to the game.
I'd play in them.
Yeah, it's about time I got a new pair of shoes. To be honest, so, yeah.
So, a couple of names you touched on there. One of them was Bayern. Now their last game is Barcelona, and the other game in that group is sorry, go back.
Kiev and
Dynamo Kiev and Benfica.
Yeah.
So if Barca lose to Bayern, totally possible, and Benfica win, Barcelona will be playing
Europa.
Thursday nights. And I don't know how long it's been since that happened.
Wow.
I know that
I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Like
for the Europa League.
I just think it's a good thing for Xavi, and it's part of the evolution, isn't it? Go down, play a slightly worse grade of players and a bit more time to get your system in place and things like that.
Yeah.
Well, we know that the thing is,
They're not gonna
Xavi's system is going to be exactly the same Barcelona system.
Yeah,
They all play exactly the same system all the time. It's never,
No,
it's
they've-
never really
it's gonna be
changed.
different.
It's going to be different from Koeman, though.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
gone
yeah.
away. It's gone away since Pep left. It's going back to that old Pep
Yeah.
Barcelona sort of one-touch total football. Like
It's going to be exactly that. Like,
keep the ball.
Do they have the quality of players at Barca now? It's a very different squad.
I think they have the makings of it.
dude, if they don't have it now, in 3 or 4 years, they're going to
They
be close
probably
to
will.
it, man. With the young players they have, are insane.
I think the linchpin for that team is Dion.
Absolutely.
I think
Yeah, definitely.
that system,
And Pedri as well.
that system having
Yeah.
a midfielder that sits there and just distributes the ball. Like the Thiago role, where he can just sit there and move it around
He's
and
the
keep the
Toni
game
Kroos.
moving. Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's
The Rolls Royce of Barcelona.
Yeah, literally.
the Marco Reus of Barcelona.
Confusing everyone now.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually a thing you touched on. Like 12 months ago, we didn't know who Pedri was, and now he's one of the first names on the Barcelona team sheet.
One of
Just
the first
won the
names in
Golden
the
Boy
Spain
Award
squad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Gavi.
Has played
Well, he put the guy you were raving at earlier, Thiago. He took his place in the Spain
in
team
Spain squad,
in the
yeah.
Euros. Yeah.
Veteran midfielder Thiago,
Yeah,
who's undeniably awesome.
And then so Barcelona also have this guy Gavi now, and then Nico as well.
They're just going to
these young
keep...
guys.
Yeah, La
Mingueza.
Masia just keeps turning out these sick young Spaniards with one name.
Yeah.
That is it. Like, if they've got two names, don't want to know about
I
it.
think that they literally do produce the most players currently playing in top leagues.
Do you reckon that's how they're doing it? They've got like a production line or something.
Yeah, mass produce.
Well, they just need to sell them for more money, so they get themselves back in the black.
Yeah.
And they'll be right.
Back out the black.
Yeah.
To reference our last podcast, actually, they probably have the same production line. They just pick out which
Out
ones
little
they
bits
like.
and pieces.
Yeah, and they get Maradona's arm, and
Yeah. They tried to fit Adama Traore's bicep on Pedri, but it just wouldn't fit.
weighed him down.
All right. Well, only thing left to do is have a wee preview for this weekend. We've got a few matches.
Yeah, and top of the list, your boys in this.
Yeah,
Yes.
Newcastle.
At home to Newcastle. I think that'll probably be an easier
Win for Newcastle.
easier question to ask of the boys.
Yeah, frankly, I'm quite glad that we're playing them now. You know, before they
Before
start
January,
spending all
yeah.
their money.
Yeah, before they signed Mbappe, Messi, and Neymar.
Yeah, and Pochettino's happy
And
to sell them.
Pochettino.
And Pochettino. Yeah, no, intuitively, it's one that we need to get 3 points from. It's a game at home, and it'll be good to see a response from them following the Liverpool game, and that's a big ask, right? We need to be able to show that we have that character.
Well, yeah, the mentality thing is, I mean, obviously 3 points is the main thing, but the mentality thing is something that Arsenal need to carry over. Because that's something that has been
Lacking.
severely lacking in recent years.
So you're next there, Liverpool, Southampton.
I mean, I've got to stay confident, don't I? Southampton sort of languishing.
But you've got to be confident against most teams in
Drib,
the league.
yeah, we. I mean, I am. Dribs and drabs of
Well, if you
results.
beat Arsenal 4-0, I mean, it's got to be 5, doesn't it? At least.
Yeah.
Just at least. Like,
Yeah, you gotta win 6-0 to make it 2-0.
Yeah. That's what
Look,
I'm
this-
saying. Yeah.
This mathematics is just blowing my head off. To be fair, yeah. Again, we've got to win.
in the bag.
And you've got to have Mo Salah as your captain.
Yeah.
On
FPL.
fantasy. On
Yeah,
fantasy,
always.
yeah.
Have
It's
done.
I just don't think I've changed some of it.
I don't think you need to change
I don't think I
these
need
days.
to. But yeah, again, if we do anything but get 3 points from that, I'll be a bit disappointed.
Yeah, wouldn't expect anything less. No. So Ash, yeah, you got Burnley,
Tough.
your favourite
Tough.
team.
I rave about Burnley all the time. They're tough.
Yeah, I don't know what you.
It's going to be interesting to see if Conte can get them up for this. Again, you're going up a team that hold really well, so you have to create. It's not a team you can really counter-attack against. So the guile of that quality of the Spurs team will have to come to the fore. You pick the right passes. Can we do it? I don't. I think it could be a draw.
No
but
confidence in the new
honestly-
coach.
Just honestly, I think that Burnley are too tough. I don't think we're in the right. We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
He's just trying to lower our expectations.
Yeah.
So low.
We're not there.
talking
But
about
I rate Burnley. Okay, I think Burnley are a good. I don't think we have the
personally, I think
creative
that's a
spark.
mistake.
You've got football autism.
On top of the regular one.
You're like, Pogba's a striker or whatever. Like, you know.
Well, that
all
is
the
my
time.
superhero name. Is Autism Ash. But no, yeah, I just think we don't have the creative play yet to be able to break a team down the way we will have to do against Burnley. I just don't think we're quite there yet.
Burnley are they're going to make it a physical game.
They're
Do you have the
Yeah,
technical
annoying.
ability, the tactical ability to play through that the way
Yeah.
you want to play?
Yeah.
It's a difficult question.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. But hey, I'll watch it. We'll find out.
I personally think that Conte will have an answer for them.
Okay.
I don't think Daesh has much tactical sort of flexibility, and I think someone with the ideas, the experience, and the talent, that he's got at his disposal, I don't think you should be looking at that as 1 point. I think you should be looking at it as 3.
I hope it's 3, but I just in my head I'm saying that's a 1 point game because I don't think we have the ability to do it at this stage.
That's definitely the way Conte will see it, though.
He'll
Conte,
go 3 points. Yeah.
Conte is the kind of guy who's not going to tell his team, we will be outmuscled here.
Yeah.
He's the guy who's going to tell his team,
And
you
that's
will
what it
outmuscle.
we will be outmuscled, but you will earn them yellow cards.
Yeah, that's what the Spurs team have lacked is that fight and hunger and just that that attitude towards a game like that. So if you can get them going, then good. We're on the right track. I just think there's a lot of work in that squad to do. So we'll see.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. Well, so then, big match. Chelsea and Manchester United.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think the bounce may just remain at the bottom.
Well, let's see how good Carrick is, eh? Like, this is your first test, man. It's immediate.
Yeah, thrown in the deep end.
Yeah.
A viable captaincy option for FPL, Reece James.
Yeah, honestly,
100%.
Reece Lightning.
Dude, again, the goals that he scored in the Champions League as well, man. They're like, oh, dude.
Did he score 2 again today? Or just one?
Just one, I think, assisted one.
Yeah, one and an assist, But he's just been incredible in the Champions League. Like, we were talking about how, Chilwell's got the chill zone in the box where he scores a goal. And then so we got the Reece zone on the other side. Like, Greece James, It just manages to slip it in from that, like, zone. Both of them, they have that same spot on the box that they shoot from, and it always goes in. It's like a script or something.
It's like a cheat code.
Greece James, man. It's funny, like, how good is England's right back position right now?
Very strong.
Very
You
strong.
can play like 4 right backs.
You can't
sweet.
play all of them.
Yeah, well, you can't play. You can't play one.
Play Alexander Arnold and
PSG would
midfield.
play all of them.
You play. Surely it's Alexander Arnold as a right wing, and then Reece James behind him, because Reece James can actually defend.
Yeah, that's fair. I think Reece James is a better defender.
He probably is a better defender. Yeah. Which is actually that's the sad thing, is that may be the edge that actually gets him in the England squad in the future.
I don't think that's sad at all. I think it's like
Is that not a good thing?
managers pick what they want, and that's fine. If Trent misses out because of that, then that's fine. You should just go be Colombian.
I was playing in the midfield or whatever.
Yeah, centre midfield.
yeah.
So what do you have to do to beat Chelsea?
I don't
Not
know.
play
It's a-
them.
It's a good
Have a
question,
bye
eh?
week.
One, not concede any goals.
Make them play Timo Werner up front.
Well, he scored against Juve.
That's what. Yeah, even he scored. That's how fucking bad Juventus were. Like, even Timo Werner scored.
He missed and he still scored.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you've got your work cut out for you there, don't you?
Yeah. So on that pitch, it would have been like Timo Werner like standing over Murata, like, look, this is how you do it, all right?
Wow. That's a meeting of minds. there's two bald men fighting over a comb.
Yeah. Look, honestly, that's a huge test. Or like, again, I'm going to say the same tactic I've been saying every week, which is give the ball to Ronaldo. It's about all we've got at the moment. So
Yeah.
Rest him for the Champions League.
Why not? So you can get that
You
sixth
rest him
goal
now.
against young
You rest
boys.
him you rest him in a game which you're most likely not going to win. Then he
Definitely.
can play the full game against
Then
young
he can
boys.
score his
Definitely
goal.
football autism. For sure. Yeah. Look, honestly, that's going to be tough, man. That's probably the hardest match in the league at the moment against Chelsea. So, having to break that down, especially for us, that's going to be tough. All I can do is pray for Ronaldo. That's about it. N'Golo Kante is injured.
Well,
He got injured in the Juventus game.
Okay, so they'll just play Jorginho and Kovacic. Two players United
Yeah.
would love to have.
Yeah.
Only.
Two so-called defensive midfielders. Yeah.
that's the point. They don't need them.
All right. So, any closing thoughts?
Nah.
No. Okay. All right.
Just
Come
Well,
on,
yeah.
you Gunners.
Carrick's at the wheel.
Carrick's at the wheel.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. All right. Well, yep. Thanks for listening, everyone. It's been another week of the Football Friends podcast. Like and subscribe, and yeah, we'll see you next time.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Ciao.